everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy. And as usual, I've got a fabulous panel. We've got Melissa Barker, our archive lady. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
So glad you're here. We've got Shelley Murphy, our family tree girl. Hello, Shelley.
You got it right. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Don't say that to me. I'm going to start saying it wrong again.
I know.
And we've got Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hello, Laura.
Hi, good to be here.
Glad you're here too, because we have got this wonderful special guest. This is David Anthony Taylor. See, I told you. And he has this wonderful website we want to introduce you to. It's called the Black Pearls of Genealogy. And I'd like to thank Shelley for getting us connected so that we could get David on the show. The first thing that I want to tell you about is I'm going to put, of course, the link in like I always do. Y'all are going to be amazed. This is one of the most beautiful websites that I think I have ever seen. And it's the first one he's ever created. So this is amazing. And on top of that, but then wait, there's more. On top of that, David's created a video that he wants us to start with so that you guys can get an idea about his website. So we're going to let him play that. And then we're going to come hit him with all of our hard-hitting questions.
Yes.
We'll do the interrogation as soon as the video is done. So David, did you want to say anything before you started, or do you want to just...
I do want to say thank you guys for allowing me to be here. You know, always trying to reach out to anyone that's willing to listen and be able to share as much information as I can, because, you know, genealogy is not a black or a white thing. It's all of our things. So,
yeah, right. Absolutely.
And I just want to say with the video, it's a short video and it's a lot. So I'm trying to put as much as I can in a short video. So some things you may catch and some things you may not. So
go back and rewatch GenFriends as many times as they want.
So I'll go ahead and start the video.
Okay. We practiced this and it worked. So hopefully there it is.
Welcome to Black Pearls of Genealogy, where history meets healing through research. We've created research tools to help you uncover your African-American ancestors' stories from bondage to freedom. At Black Pearls of Genealogy, remembering is sacred. Through our cross and book memorial projects, we honor the names and lives of the forgotten, those once were erased from public memory, past and present, now etched in stone and spirit. We need your help. Your donation today will support the construction of new memorials, community ceremonies, and the ongoing research required to find and preserve these names. Honor them with us. Give so they will never be forgotten. Donate today at thebpog.org. Now, let's dive into our research tools. We begin with vital pre-1870 documents, like the Adams County slave certificates, chancery records, insurance registries, and Louisiana notarial acts, each recording names, ages, and transactions that identified enslaved individuals. Then come the records of early free people, public claims, registers of free Negroes, and probate files. These show family, freedom status, and property ownership long before the Civil War ended. From the Reconstruction era, you'll find the Southern Claims Commission, where thousands testified to their wartime loyalty and cohabitation, and compensated emancipation records, which verified marriages and offered names of freed individuals. We explore emancipation petitions, poignant personal appeals to courts for freedom, and homesteading documents that show African Americans claiming land across the South and West. Jesuit enslavement records show how religious institutions documented those they held in bondage. Meanwhile, the United States Census and slave schedules offer a timeline of identity before and after freedom. The Freedmen's Bank stands out with names, family members, and occupations, one of the richest sources for African American family detail. And of course, the Freedmen's Bureau itself, a vital record set documenting the formerly enslaved labor and reunification after slavery. You'll find Bureau circulars, pre-Bureau wartime records, field office records, M1900 through M1913, and Record Group M2029, which contains correspondence from assistant commissioners, those who shaped policy on the ground. Our platform also includes the records of superintendents of education, whose reports list schools, teachers, and students. Freedmen's Village is another key collection detailing life in a federal settlement for freed families in Virginia. We help you map Bureau field offices to counties using interactive tools, essential for pinpointing where records were created. The story continues with military service. The USC United States Colored Troops left behind, muster rolls, pension applications, and burial information. We include pension index cards, widows' pensions, and even pension payment cards, each containing testimonies of service, love, and family. Our Native American collections include Dawes rolls, enrollment cards, land allotments, and application jackets. Many African American ancestors were freedmen of the 5 tribes. These records document their names, relationships, and tribal history. We offer custom genealogy labels to help organize your tree by themes like formerly enslaved free person of color, or USCT. Our cemetery section honors African American burial sites, documented and mapped. With virtual records, we embrace digital memorials, scanned archives, and modern research tools. We emphasize the importance of African American newspapers, which preserve life's small moments, obituaries, marriages, and community events. Our map section shows where people lived, traveled, and were recorded. Every record starts with a place. We also provide guides to free tools like Family Search, where you can build trees, attach sources, and collaborate across generations. And we bring you deep into Wikitree, a free platform for building well-sourced, collaborative family trees. You'll learn how to create Wikitree profiles, apply historical categories, conduct Wikitree research, and even link DNA results to profiles for deeper verification. Thank you for attending this presentation with the Black Pearls of Genealogy. Together, we honor our ancestors, preserve their stories, and reclaim the legacy they left behind. Visit thebpog.org to continue your journey.
Wow, what an amazing
Amazing.
video. I loved that. Hello, Bernice. Bernice just popped in. That was absolutely amazing. There's so many there's so many places to go and explore on this website. Just beautiful. So do all the links take you to those specific record groups?
Yes.
Wow.
So you don't have to try to do a lot of research. So if you're looking for a Freedmen's Bureau record for Alabama in the claims record and you click on the claim record, it takes you
Mhm.
directly to that set of records.
Nice, nice.
Can
Well,
I
my
make
first
a
question,
comment?
Shelley, because you said ask him this. So I'm gonna ask him this. How
Oh,
long
go
have you
ahead. Little background on him.
little background, how long have you been researching?
I really never know how long I've been researching. I've actually learning to research, when I actually joined the Freedmen Friday group with Dr. Shelley Murphy. I really did
Wow.
because
2020.
yes, yes.
Wow.
And so, because I thought I knew I never knew what I was doing to begin with, but people would tell me, oh, just go to Family Search and put in a relative's name and you'll get all this information. Never
Yeah.
worked for me. I never, no name ever came up. It always would be blank because I didn't know how to actually use Family Search.
Right.
So then when I came to Freedman Friday, and I was like, what is they were like, there's a Freedmen's Bureau. I was like, okay, what is that? I don't know anything. And there's a Freedmen's Bank. And I was like, oh, I know about the Freedmen's Bank because I was always told if you're Black and if you had any relatives that put any money in the bank, you could have tons of money. Yeah, that wasn't right either. So
No.
Shelley, why don't you just really quick, for people that don't know, what is Freedman's Friday? What is that?
Freedman Friday is something I started back, I think it was April 2020, linking with a project I'm researching in Virginia, looking for descendants of folks within 8-county area. And so the connection was the Freedmen's Bureau, which is from 1865 to basically 1865 to 1872. So that was the piece to find descendants or who survived to make it after the Civil War. And so that's an untapped collection in my mind, 3.4 million records. And so we spend a couple hours every Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern time, diving in at the records. Virginia, all states that had the field offices, like the map we saw in the video, everywhere there is a place that they had a field office or a contraband camp or whatever it is, we go in and look at the records. So there's 50, 60 more people every Friday, and we're just going through the records. We're learning the records, we're sharing, we're helping each other, and Denise Jarrett is there. She's one of the co-leaders with WikiTree on the U.S. Black Heritage Project. So also, once we get done with the Bureau, then there's people there about DNA and WikiTree and all of that. And so some of us also get together the first Saturday of every month and just do transcribing or WikiTree, or whatever we're doing, just
We'll have
hanging
all those,
out.
we'll have all those links for everybody. So,
Yes.
and Bernice, I'm glad you came. It's her birthday. Everybody say happy birthday
Happy
to her.
birthday.
They just walked out the door.
Didn't somebody have a birthday yesterday?
Yes, Cheri.
Happy birthday.
Yes, Cheri had one too.
I was amazed that Bernice is here. It's her birthday today. So,
Yeah.
So who wants to start out with some questions? I
Well,
love this.
I can start with
start.
I can start with a tiny question. I noticed on the website you have a Kalamazoo, Michigan, Potter's Field, and the first thing you see on there is that a Boy Scout project, an Eagle Scout project, was somehow involved in the burial grounds. I'm very curious to know how that worked out.
because the people were using it as a dumping ground. So because the Potter's Field, although it's in the middle, actually on the edge of the cemetery, it's in a wooded area and it's forgotten. No one even knows that there's even bodies back there. So people just taking their garbage and just throwing back there. So the Boy Scouts, someone, I guess they brought it up in the Boy Scouts, they were asked if they can go in and help clean up some of the garbage there. And so that's kind of what they did. And they kind of roped it off so people will know that I mean, people still have no idea that what Potter's Field is. I've asked local people and they're like, is that near Detroit?
No,
So, yeah, so
No, not so much.
not this Potter's Field.
Wait, isn't there a well-known preacher that has the Potter something?
I don't know.
I don't know, Shelley.
Yes, the Potter's House. Yes, that's his
Yes.
church. That's the name of his church in Texas.
Okay, thank you.
That's what you're- okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so but then the individuals who were buried there, who went through and or were you involved in going through and determining who had been buried there?
So what we do,
and creating those records?
so the city of Kalamazoo, they actually, we got lucky. They had a set of records. It's like 2,300 people buried there.
Oh
So
my
we
gosh, that's
had
a
the
lot.
record. And that's just the ones that they know of because they've been burying them since 1860. And
Wow.
so when we would go down there with, it looks like a T. It's a metal rod, and we were just sticking it in the ground until you
Yeah.
hear something go click. And then it's
Yeah.
like it could be a rock or it could be
Yeah.
a grave marker. And
Mhm.
so we'll dig it up, and if it's a rock, we just move on. But if it's a grave marker, it'll have a name on it. I mean, it'll have a number on it.
Mm.
So once I
Oh,
get that number, I take a picture, then I record it. I come home and I look on my list and see who that individual is. And then go ahead and do my genealogy work, like, because they're buried here in Kalamazoo. So I'll like,
mhm.
I go to Ancestry, try to find information about them. Some of them have pictures. I've actually found people that were enslaved here, that were former
Wow.
slaves, people that were born free, people from different
Mhm.
countries.
Yeah.
Um, I found USCT in there. I found
Goodness.
my daughter, I did her family tree as well. So I was like, as I was going through the list, I said, this names look familiar. Let me check. So
Mm.
I checked her family tree, and sure enough, it was like her fourth great grandmother
Oh,
on the
wow.
list. Of course, she has no idea who she is. And I did further research
Sounds
and
like
found,
you got called to that.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really weird because
Yeah.
as I was doing the research, I found a newspaper article about how she died. She had got a call, or not a call, she was contacted that her son had passed away that day. And it was so hard on her, she died 6 hours later.
Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
So they
wow.
had they had two burials at the same time. And of course, in
Oh,
those time, so this was, I think it was like in 1910. So they actually buried them both in Pottersville at the
Mm.
same
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did the Boy Scouts do?
They just went and they only did it that one time,
Yeah.
but they just
The
came and
cleanup?
cleaned up. Yeah,
Help
because
clean up?
it literally was like a dump. It was like a dump. People would just
Mm.
take their garbage, chairs, refrigerators, whatever, and just throw it in there. And I don't think people realized that there were actually bodies buried there because there's no headstones, there's
Yeah.
no grave markers. It just looks like a wooded area.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so, we're out there literally just, some days I'd go out there, I'd go out there maybe at 9 in the morning and stay there till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And and I may not find anything, but the
Yeah.
next day I can go out there and find 13 or 14. And
Yeah.
what we would do is once we find them, we'd put a stake in the ground and
Mm.
we put a
Mhm.
number on it. So when we're done with the project, the city is going to, um, they're actually going to map it, and
Oh,
we're putting up a memorial. I'm putting up one of my memorials there,
good.
and
Good.
I literally just started saying, "Well, I'm just going to put up a cross memorial because that's my was my first project."
Mhm.
And somebody caught wind of it in the city, and they was like, "No, we're not doing that." And when you talk about pimping something out, they're like, they're like, no, we're gonna have 100-foot wall.
Oh my.
We're putting all the names of these individuals
Oh,
on
wow.
there. They did a diagram of all. It's like we're planting these 4 trees. We're putting in 2 benches.
Oh,
They just going all the way out. So it's going to be a huge project.
That's
And
awesome.
so I actually have an illustration of the diagram on the website as well. If you look at the Pottersville project, you'll see it, and it's astounding. I was like, we were in a meeting. They came in there. An engineer came in and dropped the blueprint. It was like, yeah, I think we'll do this. And they're like, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to do any fundraising. The city's
wow.
going to take care of everything, and we're not subcontracting this out, which is something I didn't know. They said because of the material that they're using, the city gets some kind of bonus or they get awarded for using a certain material to
Oh,
build this wall and stuff. So I was like, oh, a win-win.
yeah, I
So
was gonna say a win-win situation. That's fabulous. That's wonderful.
Do you
Now,
ever, I have a niece that is a proud history major graduate from Kalamazoo College. Do you ever get the history students out there to help you?
no.
Nope, and you just planted that seed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I-
you
I've
planted
reached
that
out.
seed.
I've reached out to the university and stuff, and they just won't. That no one ever calls me back because
Oh,
I'm so new too.
Yeah.
Our organization's really new. We're not really well known, so
Don't give up.
I
yeah,
was
here
gonna
you go.
say, well, now you've got a connection. Maybe Laura can help with her niece.
Yeah,
Now I know that
I'll get you
I
together
know
with
that
Maddie.
that Melissa had a question and then Bernice.
Um, Mine is maybe an odd question, but I'm an archivist. I work in a local county archive here in Middle Tennessee, and one of the things that I do as an archivist, because just what you said at the very, very beginning, it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's an all of us thing. And so one of the things that I do in my archives is I try to document our African American heritage locally because many of our African American families either don't have their records anymore, they're not willing to share for typical reasons, because it is mainly a white community and has been since our founding in 1871. However, I do get records donated, manuscript collections and things, and some of my own research that includes our African American community, which means I have records on the enslaved, even though our county wasn't formed until 1871. And I'll give you a for instance. I got a phone call out of the blue about a month or two ago from a lady who said they found some old correspondence from 1855 in their grandmother's things when she died. They don't know why she had it, but it was for a local gentleman who was a very well-known local gentleman who operated in the pig iron industry. And he had iron furnaces in our area. This is Middle Tennessee. And so this is correspondence, all these records, all these letters from like 60 letters from like 1855. But one of the letters talks about an owner sending his enslaved Sam to work in the iron industry and talking about sending a horse to get him or something. I can't remember exactly what the letter says, but then it goes right in my mind. This needs to be documented somewhere other than in my little archive. It's going to be in this person's collection. Another thing that I have done on my own is that we in our area, again, our county did not form until 1871. However, we had people living in the area after this time that were with the United States Colored Troops. So I took it upon myself to document everyone in our community that ended up living here, ended up dying here. I wrote to the National Archives, got their records. I got their oh, thank you, pension records. And so I have all of that information on these people. I think I documented 6 in our community, which is really kind of amazing when you know this area. So anyway, I took it upon myself to do that because I just feel like they should be documented. My ultimate question is that I have it in my archive, but I don't have the means or so to get it out to the African American public. If there's something there that they need to have to research.
Well, I'm always here.
Okay.
I don't have.
I didn't know if you would be interested in
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah. Any
Good.
information that we can get,
Okay.
any information that could help any person of color. And
Sure.
a lot of people, when they look at the website, they think it's for Black people only. Or
Well,
I'm
yeah.
like, well,
Mm,
we weren't writing any records.
right.
Yes.
Our white ancestors or white family members or white owners, they also have family as well. And
Mhm.
not all, the thing is I've actually found in the Freedmen's Bureau where a slave owner, after 1865, he went to the Freedmen's Bureau and asked if I think we shared this with Dr. Shelley in our Zoom meeting. He asked if he could marry his slave.
Wow.
And he had children with her, and they said, of course, no, it's against the law.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did more research and found in like 1880 they were still married. They weren't married, but
They
they
were
were
still
in the
together.
census, yeah, and they had actually had more children together.
Mhm.
And we found that at some point she went to visit one of her children or something, and this was in Texas. So she went to, I think it was Oklahoma, to to visit a family member, and she died.
Mhm.
Oh.
And he sent a letter saying he wanted her body shipped back
Oh,
to Texas so she could be buried next to him.
Wow.
So, everyone doesn't, there's
Yeah.
probably a large portion of people that were abused, as far as slave wise,
Right.
but not everyone. Some people actually fell in love with, they're human. You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
choose who you love. And
Right.
so, but those records are not just for Black people.
Right.
Some
Exactly.
are good and some are
Yeah.
bad. You might
Yeah.
find the record. Well, my ancestry helped, not only did they emancipate the slaves that their parents had, but they've also helped them find land. So it's
Mhm.
not just the website isn't just for people that are Black.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Can't
it's up to
separate
people.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. You can't.
Well,
Yeah.
I will contact you though, and I'll be glad to
Oh,
share what I have been able to find,
Yeah.
and and we'll see what we can get
Because
out
we could
there.
make an entire page just on your findings.
Just yeah.
Yeah,
that
it
would be
really is.
great.
I'm serious because I don't have to ask anyone's permission what I can and can't put on the site.
Sure. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Bernice, what's your question? You've been
Yes,
very patient. Thank you.
I have a two-part question. The first, hi, David,
I
is
agree.
I'd like to know if you've done an analysis to determine which component of your site brings the most traffic.
Mm.
No, I've just got a person in marketing and I'm just learning how to do all this stuff. So when I say I'm still kind of new at this because I am. So
No, you would never know that when you take a look at this
yeah.
webpage. You'd
So
never know that he's brand new at this.
So
So
I'm trying to do that now. So like I said, just got a marketing person, which happened to be a family member. And how that came about was another family member, we're DNA related, but she matches everyone in my family. And she went to the website and she said, it's really nice. I was like, yeah, but I really need someone in marketing because our website, people can say it's good and everything, but no, there's so many people that don't know about it.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so I said, I really need someone in marketing. She said, I do have a cousin. She lives like it's in her blood to do marketing. That's what she lives for, And
And she's
so,
doing it.
yeah, so she was like, well, here's her kit number, her, jet match number, see if she's related. And she was related to me. And
Wow.
quick as I called her, this has only been about a little over a week. And she's come in, like, oh my God, she's just so excited. She's like, this is so much bigger than you think it is. And I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah, it's okay, She's like, no, 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 you don't get it. And so now with her, she's like, oh, we're gonna start doing analysis. We're gonna start tracking this. We need to check the traffic. And
yeah,
so, so
perfect.
we're about a week in, Bernice. So checking it.
Okay, and the other part of my question was your content, and I noticed that you had the Old Pine Hill Cemetery out
Yes.
of Claiborne Parish, Louisiana, and some of those names I'm very familiar with because that's my husband's part of the country. But have you and Lau collaborated to make certain that this is his information, could be on your site?
You
Yeah.
talking about Lyle Gibson?
Yes.
Yeah. Lyle's, he was a project manager and he's also a family member as well.
Right.
We know that. So we know that the information is correct, and we've
Oh,
done.
yes, it's most definitely correct.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with the information also.
yeah. So we I try to put up as much as information as I can for the projects. A lot of the projects that I do, um, once it's established, some people are willing to help give me the information. A lot of the information I have to do my own research.
Okay.
And then I say, hey, if anyone sees anything that needs to be added to this site, or if something's incorrect, then let me know and I'll go ahead and change it and update it. I'm not one to say, no, I'm right, you're wrong, end the conversation. Because, so
So do you have like a call out to people to say if you have content that would be relevant to Black Pearls, I'm willing to look at it and you can put it up, or I'm willing to put it up on my site? Is that what
well,
you're saying?
I'm trying to that every time I come to Freedom Friday, I bring that up. And every time I'm in a Zoom meeting, I tell people that. But now, because once again, we just have a new marketing person. So hopefully she's going to be able to put that information out. And then of course, with people like now, Bernice and Dr. Shelley, those are like my mentors, okay? So they can call me and say, "Hey, David, I need you to here, do this, do that," and there's never a no for me.
Well, of course, we'll have the link and your email and all that in the on the YouTube video underneath that, and also in the blog post that I create. So people will be able to get a hold of you and you know, share their information with you to look at. So hopefully you'll get even more through you being on GenFriends. So we're so grateful for you for doing this, and we're happy to be able to see if we can help you get some more content. You know, the records
It's
are
a
everywhere.
one-stop shop.
It's a
Right
one-stop shop,
now,
and that's
you can
yeah.
go in and with the
Neat.
different states, yeah. And so the more we can put up there, I think
Yeah.
it's useful for all of us. At least we're all researchers and things
Yes,
like that.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
Would Conference Keeper be a good fit for him to post that he's looking
that's
to
a great idea. That's my cousin.
Yeah, yeah. Tammy's my cousin too.
Tammy.
We're related
I think
somewhere
she's
too.
my 10th or 11th. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah, we're
very close.
related. And then I connect to Cheri also. And Bernice and I, we connect to the same people, but don't know how we connect.
Yeah,
We
it's
are
all of us,
DNA wise.
right?
Melissa, too, you're way back there somewhere, too. So I'm related to everybody on this page except for Laura. I don't think I'm connected to Laura.
Yeah, I
But
really think
thank you for that, Laura, because I'll put him in contact with Tammy.
do that. Yeah, that's a perfect place for him to be. Absolutely, for this
Thank
website to be. Well, keep them coming. What other questions do y'all have? Or comments or whatever it may be.
I'll
Good.
make a comment and a question. So the ideal person that would come to your website, if they're new, just getting started, and I'll say it's a person of color.
Right.
You have the 5 civilized tribe information on there. You got African American, the Freedmen's Bureau. Just for the audience, the proper name is the Bureau of Refugees, Freedmen, and Abandoned Land. Refugees are white.
Yep.
Freedmen
it.
are formerly enslaved. So that's when he made that comment, and Melissa too. You know, everybody's in that record. It's federal. And so for people getting started, why would they want to go to your website? And I'm saying that, you know, I can answer that, but I'd like you to answer. Why do you want people to come there? And then I'll respond.
That's great because I would definitely want you to piggyback off of whatever I say. So I think the reason why I think is so important is because even when I started doing my research, I had no idea all this material was even out there. And so if by and then my wife was upset when I started doing this that it's not a paid site. And she's like, why are you doing this? You know, you're doing this for all this time, putting this energy in there, and no one's even going to the website or blah blah blah. So I was like, that's fine. But I said, in my conscience, I couldn't see charging anyone for the material because for a person of color, they already have us paying for everything anyway. You know, we have to pay to look for all of our records. So when I started doing, well, first let me even explain to you how this whole thing started. We're in Freedmen Friday. Dr. Shelley pulls up a record on the Freedmen's Bureau, and we went to the page, and it's only film numbers there. It's
I was going
literally,
to bring that up.
yeah, it's literally just a page of film numbers. So I was like, oh, I can,
Family search.
yeah, and family search. Like, oh, I can put some of those numbers and find out where they go. And you know, they were all different states. And so I did that like maybe a couple of weeks, and then you know, then someone said, "Well, you need to make this into a website." I was like, "Nah, that's not what I do. It's just a PDF. I don't
It
do like
wasn't what you did.
right." So I had no
But
clue.
did y'all hear what he said? A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Those film numbers are now translated to location. You go to that film number, you can go right to the state. It's not even that way on Family Search.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And that is so helpful, but keep going.
So of course, then it came up with the website from that, and then another thing that actually piggybacked off, I do find a grave as well. So this is all happening at the same time.
Mhm.
Um, a person, I found a person's relative here in Kalamazoo, and they were in Texas. And so she said, "Oh, thank you so much," because I go above and beyond. I know I do too much when I'm taking these pictures because I treat everyone like they're my family. So I go and I have a whole cleaning kit with me when I go. I clean off the headstones
Oh,
and get all the
wonderful.
dirt from around it. Make sure, like if I take a picture, oh no, there's a piece of grass there. It shouldn't be there. Let me get that out the kitchen. So, and then I said, so this woman, she was very thankful, and she said, if I could ever do something for you, I'm in Texas, let me know. And I said, well, my great grandfather's buried in Texas, and I gave her the name of the location. She said, well, that's like 3 hours away from me, but I'll go take a picture. And I was like, no, 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 you don't have to do it, because I can tell she was an elderly woman. I was like, no,
Oh,
no, that's fine. And she just insisted. And so when she got there, she said that she talked to the person that maintained the cemetery because it was a small cemetery, and he knew exactly who my great grandfather was
mm,
because his name is Kill Burns.
Right.
Kill. That's his real name. That's not
wow.
a nickname. That's his real name, Kill. And so he didn't have a headstone, but his children had headstones and they were broken up and damaged. And so I was like, gosh, there's probably, millions of people out there that have relatives that have damaged headstones. So I'll start a nonprofit, like I know what I'm doing, right? So let's start a nonprofit and get these headstones fixed. And the first person I talked to, he's like, yeah, I've just found this abandoned plantation. It's got 100, you know, found 100 markers. I said, well, that's going to be a lot. So maybe I'll just do a memorial. One thing. And then I said, well, then it started making me think of, literally, like I said, this was all within the same week that we were doing the stuff on Freedom Friday. So, well, if we do memorialize these people, then you do need to find out information about them.
Mhm, mhm.
So at that time, if I was trying to find information on an ancestor or helping someone, we would go to a whole bunch of different websites to try to
Right.
find what we're looking for. So well, I'll just put it all in one location. And so that's kind of how we started. And, like I said, been pretty good. So, people have been supporting us, really good on
Mhm.
this. So,
Mhm.
but back to the question, Dr. Shelley, is
So the purpose of the question,
yeah.
because you realize, and I'm saying this to the audience, that he's been doing this like not quite 5 years yet. So yes, he can still consider himself new, but everything that he's putting up is what he has learned. And
Yes.
so
Mhm.
I'm saying, look at the website also as a draw for education. If
Yes.
it's the Freedmen's Bureau, whatever it is, and even the tools that are out there, because I'm going to tell you what I'm starting to use. I got Black Progen, you know, logo type thing, and then I've got the tools from the Black Pearls of Genealogy. So if I don't have pictures of someone, I'm using those logos of who that ancestor is. But that also helps me mentally because I have so many trees that I manage and stuff.
Mhm.
But I wanted to get the point across that it's very educational. So if you go
Mhm.
to that, and I use mostly the Freedmen's Bureau site. So if I go there and go to the state that I'm researching, this, that, another, Tennessee, Virginia, whatever it is, Carolinas, I can walk through because what
Yeah.
he has built is like step 1 through 10. And so
Yeah.
I'm hoping people will get it's a one-stop shop, but you get to get educated. You get to get educated. Oh my goodness. You get educated, but you get educated on how to get there. And what
Yeah.
was interesting, one Freedman Friday, we were able to separate that the assistant commissioner records, of course, were a little different from the regular field office. Next thing we know, the next week, they're all up.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
all up, the assistant commissioner descriptive pamphlets and the link to every one of the states for the assistant
Oh,
commissioners, because the field offices reported everything to the assistant commissioners
yeah.
at the state level. So
Mhm.
again, I think of it as an education resource for everybody. And somebody else had a comment.
Yeah.
I,
Laura.
yeah, so mine is just piggybacking because I'm just exploring here.
Yeah.
And I was looking at, I didn't even know such a thing existed as the Georgia cohabitation records. And it's really such an interesting glimpse into history, like how the law is written.
Mhm.
And there's just also this assumption too that, it's not just to say there's a record of people living together as husband and wife, but unless a man shall have two or more reputed wives or a woman two or more reputed husbands, they have to choose one. And I
Yeah.
was like, it's just
Go Georgia.
crazy.
Gosh, Georgia, they had to.
So, but just you can learn so much about history. Like when the laws, instead of just saying, here's the record, it's just what you said, Shelley. He's first
It's education.
introduces it and then has the wording of the law,
Yeah.
which does educate you so much into what's going on. And it's small slivers of time, some of these
I
things.
will say he has a Judy Russell influence as well.
Yeah.
That he's been exposed to Judy G. Russell. So
Yes.
yes, that law is going to show up.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Oh, that's good because Judy's looking for a protege. If any lawyers out there that
She sure is.
has a law degree, she's
Yeah.
she's
Gonna
looking
take
for
over.
a protege.
She is. She
The
is.
legal genealogist. Yes. Yes.
And
So,
another
so
thing
the website is really kind of two parts. You've got your research component, and then you've got the memorial component. So you've
Right.
got the places that you're honoring the enslaved, the free people of color, whomever it may be in a particular area. You're honoring them. So there's two parts of the website. So how did you get started with the memorials? Was it like with that gravesite or
That was basically it.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
then it's not just Black people. We just did a memorial
anybody?
for a Chinese cemetery in California.
Oh, nice.
So there were actually it's I think it was 140 feet by 160 feet because
Wow.
in the 1800s they weren't allowed to bury Chinese people in cemeteries.
Right.
And
Right.
Oh my goodness.
so
Oh,
we just did their memorial was just unveiled, I believe it was last month. So
yeah. That's
and
that's
then
really
another thing that to back off what Dr. Shelley was saying, for a beginner, like the website, whether you're new at doing genealogy or if you're a seasoned person,
yeah,
it's going to be user friendly for everyone.
for
And
Mhm.
so
every
my thing is I want to be able to make sure that regardless of what your research, your genealogy level, your historical level is, everybody will be able to find information on there. And
yeah.
there, because there's so many records. I actually learn about stuff as I'm researching to put things on there because I've heard, ever since I've started doing research, people like there's no Black Confederates. Nobody, no Confederates at all, right? So as I'm looking at these records,
Mm,
there's these pension records that they may not have been soldiers, but I mean, it's like 2,600 images of people applying for pension in the Confederates that were
yeah.
Black. And it
Yes.
specifically say like a colored man applying for pension records. But
And those are state records, by
yes,
the
that's
way.
what I was
So I
getting
don't
ready to
want the
say.
audience thinking they're at
I was
the
just getting ready
federal level.
I was just getting ready to make that clear that when you're looking, and so people, a lot of the records that I was talking about now they're at the state level and you're not going to find them in the
Right.
federal record. So
Mhm,
we've
exactly.
we've
Yeah.
found so many records, even it's so much that you can go through. We found just like with miscellaneous records. Uh,
Mhm.
uh when we were in Freedom Friday, there's another family member there named Dana Lee. She found a record and
Mhm.
it was saying that this person they were identifying two I believe it was two individuals that were slaves
Mhm.
or former slaves, and they were saying that, oh, the first person, his family has been enslaved by us for over 120 years.
Yeah.
It's like his mother raised me, his grandmother waited on my mother, or and it was just listing all these things, and I was like, wait a minute, they were these people were slaves in your family for over 100 years, and then he said, and I own them now.
Ah,
So we have,
Generations.
yeah, and there's so
yeah.
many. A lot of people think one thing Dr. Shelley always says is, people always think that for people of color, you can't find any documents on a person of color. Be either, I would say she says 1870, but some people they stop at 1900. They can't go past 1900.
Right.
So this is just showing with this website, it's like every page you go to, you can find records of people of
Prior
color.
to, yeah.
Their records are out there.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do want to mention, and this happened just within the last 30 days or maybe a little further than that. And I'm saying this for Bernice to hear it. Southern Claims Commission. He now has links and stuff up because she does
Oh, that, yeah,
presentations on the Southern
Yeah.
Claims Commission.
we both do.
You both do, yes. And that's another record set that I
Wow.
think genealogy,
That caught my eye in the video. I was like, oh,
yes, to
You-
realize that
record.
again, it's not a black record set.
Nope,
It's
it's not.
everybody's set. You got the witnesses and whoever's making a claim, this, that, and the other. So
Right.
another thing, and there it went up. We talked about it, he heard about it, and next thing we know,
Yeah.
it's up on the website. So again, folks, if there's content that needs to be shared and you want to, let us know, contact. And by the way, David has a Facebook page, the Black Pearls of Genealogy.
Yeah, we'll get that on there too. Yes, we'll get that on the links as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if
Really.
anyone feels like, if you feel like you're really a strong, your subject that you're strong in is genealogy related, then just contact me. If you say, hey, I want to make a video for this.
Yeah.
It's good because sometimes, some people are more visual. They're more visual.
Yes.
You can have a lot of text
Yes.
there. So I try to actually make little videos to put on the top of each page so it kind of explain what the documents are. But anyone can take off if you're saying, well, I don't know anything about all this other stuff, but I know I'm really good at finding probate records. That's my thing. Because some people, they specialize in their minds. They'll say, I specialize in California, in Alabama, or I specialize in this. Those, if you ask a question or we even say ourselves, if you're looking for something on the freedmen of the five civilized tribes, talk to Angela Walton Raji.
Exactly.
For something in Virginia, talk to Dr. Shelley. If you're looking for something on homesteading, we go to Bernice. So
You go to Bernice. Yeah,
we-
exactly. That is
So-
so true. Or even Louisiana,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
anyone
Go to
feels
Bernice.
like, hey, they want to contribute as far as
So I can
Looks like
see the
big events.
USCTs
yes.
of Tennessee, the ones from Hurt County, and I know it starts with an H, so I couldn't remember if it's Houston or Hudson. I'm close, whatever it is. Melissa's sixth. That'll be up there.
That'll be Melissa's.
What's the county? Is it Hudson or Houston?
It's Houston County,
Houston
Tennessee.
County, Tennessee.
And
Yeah.
I think actually Tennessee is the state that had the black Confederate, the listed as black Confederate pension records.
Yes.
And they actually put I think they actually put their records on there, and it's in Family Search. So
Yeah.
a lot of the information that we have, I found that, for some of the paid sites, the same information could be on some of the free sites. So I put everything up there. And some of the benefits of that is, like we can find some documents on Ancestry, and we could find that same set of records on Family Search. But the records on Ancestry, they may have been scanned better, or they could be
Yeah.
scanned better on Family Search.
Yeah.
Or you could
Exactly.
say, I'm looking for records on the on Fold 3. They may have the images, but you got the exact same information, the same records on Family Search, which is free, or
Right.
another source on someone else's page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's really about sharing and educating, I think, overall, as far as the Black Pearls of Genealogy, and especially in the work that I do and others as well. We're looking at this as a place that's building a one-stop, and I keep saying one-stop shop. I need to find something else, but that is a place to go. you
Yeah.
know, to get links to get to these things. And it makes
Mhm.
sense, you
Well, you
know.
need to tell your marketing person, because I'm one little rural archive in the state of Tennessee. There are tons of us in the state of Tennessee,
Mhm.
but then you go to other states and we have these records in our collections.
Yeah.
We don't know who to reach out to, even if we have the time to reach out to someone. So it may be that your marketing or someone can actually reach out to us and say,
We don't have
what,
that
how,
covered.
yeah, and say,
Right.
what do you have that you would like to share? I'm one that I like to fully share. Not all archives fully share this way,
Yeah.
but I believe, because I've been a genealogist for 35 years, I believe that every person who's ever walked on the face of this earth has a story to tell. And these
Mhm.
records help to tell their story. But if they're languishing in our archives in boxes on
Yeah,
shelves, they're not
exactly.
telling anybody's story. And
Right.
so I have been fretting over, how do I get these records into the hands where they can be told? Because I've done the time that I can to research some of this stuff, but there's so much more research that can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is I can continuously add on more stuff.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I was telling my wife just a few minutes ago, hey, I just met Melissa, my new best friend. So,
And she's in Houston, Tennessee, and
Yeah.
she's an
right.
archivist, you know.
So
Yes.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited about, working with you and
Thank
anyone
you.
else because
Mhm.
and once again, and this is what I tell people, like when I joined some of my white family members, they'll have me on their Facebook group and everything. I'd be the only black person on there. And I'd be like, hey, do you guys have any probate records, any
Yeah.
slave journals or anything, And I just
Exactly.
go right because I'm like, they're my family too.
Yeah.
We're all family.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of times it's like some people have the records and they don't want to share them.
Exactly.
Or,
That is so true. Yeah.
and
I
it's
can't
like,
tell you how many people that I know that have reached out to someone else and when they find out that maybe it's an African American person that's reaching
yes.
out or
Yeah.
vice versa, the other way around, people get real skittish, and they don't want to share. But you've got to share because
Right.
you've got information. You each have information in each other's
Might be the
records.
one thing that busts that brick.
Exactly. And the panel knows that I've given talks several times on how we need to share these records. The descendants of both the enslaved
Yeah.
and enslavers must share the records. We can
Mhm.
help each other, but especially for the enslaved people in your ancestors' records, you've got to share that information so people can find their families. And so I'm
But
very
sure,
passionate about that.
but
They know
sure, one
that.
thing that you have to realize is when people say this, the enslavers' ancestors, they're your ancestors too.
That's
Because
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah, when we go on Ancestry or something and we look, it's like, oh, I've seen like there's a whole page of just white family members. Well,
Mhm.
when they go on their page, they see me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. And I've got several. Well, I'm from South Carolina, but it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
But I have got ancestors who had children
Yeah.
with their enslaved, the females on their female property. And I will add them to my tree. I add them to my tree. So a lot of
Yeah.
people, because I want to be able to research and I want people to know that they're part of the family and I want people to share their records. But when I do put it on the tree, I put very clearly, this is not a marriage. This
Right.
is an enslaved relationship. Do not mistake this relationship. But I want to acknowledge people, and I will go onto other people's trees that I know that this particular African American family should be added to, and they're not there. They don't acknowledge it. And so people have a hard time, I think. Laura?
So you do that in what software, like Ancestry or Family
I've
Search?
got it on Family Search, all the
And
trees that
so
I've
how
done,
do you denote that clearly for other people?
because every one of them has a comment section somewhere that
You
other
got a
people can
tag. You can tag it too.
you can tag it and you can put it in your
Notes or
uh
comments.
notes or comments where people can see it and acknowledge it. And
Yeah.
so because
But
I
Family
don't
Search is still like assigning it parentage, but not necessarily
They have another
marriage.
category.
Yeah.
Yes, they
okay.
have a category now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I make sure that that is done because I don't want anybody to mistake that because it's not, it wasn't a marriage. I mean, sometimes it is a marriage like you've talked about, but for the most part, it's not. And so I want to make that very, very clear. But I've had wonderful opportunities of people contacting me and we've been able to work back in time and find find descendants back in my ancestors' records, of people being bought and sold as families so we can connect them together. We know who the grandmother is now because of a family being sold together or just listed in the records as mother and children, things like that. So yeah, we definitely need to work together. So your site is truly for everybody, for absolutely everybody.
I will make a comment because Cheryl's going to be also in Charleston for the
Yes,
OGS
I am.
conference in
I
May.
am.
So whoever's there, if we get a chance for GenFriends to connect, David will be able to see folks. So
Perfect. Oh, good. Perfect.
I'll be
Perfect.
there
Yeah.
too.
I'm
yeah,
actually,
I'm saying
yeah,
it.
I'm actually speaking on that topic. I'm
Yes.
working. I'm speaking with Sharon Gillens on that very topic. So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, we get a lot of good discussion when we give this presentation a lot because a lot of people are scared to do it. So
Yeah.
scared to reach out. And so,
And it's on both sides, not
and it's
just
on
the
both
whites,
sides.
it's blacks too.
And
There's
we're going to
some.
have to update our syllabus to add your website to it.
Yay.
And we will definitely do that. So,
Okay.
other questions, other comments?
Good. I'm
Everybody
glad.
good?
Thank you for this. Glad to
Yeah.
see it.
Is there anything, David, that you
Fabulous.
want?
And I think you just have to keep going and
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Keep going with it. But is there anything that maybe we didn't cover that you would like to talk about, or do you think we covered everything?
I think is just get the information out as much as possible. And once again, if there's a subject that's not covered, it could be covered. I just hadn't created the page for it. I may already
Right.
have the information, but basically, like I said, if there's anything that's not covered, contact me. Let me know I need to put on there. I'm willing to work with anyone. If there's anyone that feels like they need to donate to our project, feel free to do so.
Mhm.
You can also ask that people, when they go on the website, to leave a review because
Ah,
that helps with our rankings as far on Google.
yes.
That way, more people will be aware of the website and whether
Right.
it's good. It doesn't all, I'm not asking everyone to leave fives. If you go on there and say, I don't like these pictures, they're too scary because someone told me that. They said,
Oh, I think they're beautiful.
yeah, they said they're too scared. They look too real. So,
Oh.
and then another person said, "Hey, you don't have any emojis on there. This is like for old people." And I said, "Okay, this isn't
We're seasoned.
yeah." So, but whether it's a if it's even a negative comment, then I'm saying, if someone says, well, every time I go to this page, none of these links are working. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So thanks for letting me know. And then I can go and fix it. And I can come back and say, thanks for, bringing it to my
Exactly.
attention. Now it's fixed. Now everybody can enjoy that. So
Yeah.
I'm asking for reviews. It's not just is whether it's good or bad, it's whatever you guys feel. Or if someone wants to say, hey, I was able to use the website and I found this information. That's
That's the important thing.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love it and I have started using it myself. And so I am so thankful that you came on. Thank you, Shelley, for getting us connected. And this has been a really great conversation. And I hope that it helps build your website, helps get the word out there, and more and more people will start using it to be able to connect their family. So thank you so much. Thank you all panel members for coming and helping with this conversation. And with that, we will see you next time on Gen Friends. And don't forget to go to the site and leave your comments. And if you've got anything that you would like to contribute, please let David know too. So with that, we will see you next time on Gen Friends. Bye, everybody.
Hi.
Bye.